celebration combined into one good time right now. All the anticipation of a season opening race, plus a birthday celebration for one of those ages ending in a 0. Racing America welcomes you to Sebring International Raceway in Florida for round 1 of the 2026 Trans Am Series, presented by Pirelli. A little foggy start to the day here in Central Florida. Skies are expected to clear. It's going to be a beautiful 78-degree afternoon, and we've got Trans Am cars on one of the most historic tracks in the world. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Racing America's coverage of the Trans Am Series by Pirelli. Alan Bestwick, joined by my pal, former NASCAR Cup champion crew chief Andy Petrie. Opening day for a racer. What's it like?
Well, honestly, Alan, to be standing next to you, my old friend, one of the best to ever do it in the business, it's an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me. But it is incredible to be at this historic raceway and see these cars. These Trans Am cars and TA2 cars are really incredible. And to get to know some of the people, some of the drivers, a lot of the mechanics, a lot of guys I've known over the years and got to reacquainted with today and yesterday. It's been a really good treat. I can't wait for this race to start.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That's the opening day excitement. Now let's talk about that celebration for a birthday ending in 0. This track is 60 years ago. And we continue on celebrating all season long the many legends that have given us many thrilling moments over these past 6 decades.
What about the Trans-American Sedan Championship Series as a circuit in the United States? Do you think it'll be successful, Dan?
Oh, I think this is very much beginning.
The Trans Am Championship.
Truly an all-American road racing series, now in its 3rd decade.
Suspension and torque and carburation.
Around-the-clock testing, timing, practicing. Some of the top names in the racing world are here to put their reputations on the line. Parnelli Jones, George Fulmer, Dan Gurney, Mark Donohue, and Roger Penske, team captain. Experienced veterans and strong young newcomers, here to challenge for the Trans Am crown.
Ford, Chevy, and Olds have brought out their best.
Who wants it more?
They're going for it.
Trans Am racing, the cars are spectacular on a racetrack, but they don't go around like they're on a rail. They slide and drift, pick wheels up in the corner. They're really fun to watch.
To be the most exciting season of Trans Am racing yet.
Memories there, and a man with great passion for the Trans Am Series, who now leads the organization, joins us in the booth before the first green flag of the season. Andy Lally, I know you love this kind of racing so much. A 60th celebration. What's it mean to you?
60 years of Trans Am this is going to be a great season for that celebration here, because we've grown, we've evolved, we're getting so much better here. We've got strong fields in TA, TA2, all of our GT classes. I can't wait to throw the green flag here.
So you've been a very, very successful race car driver. I know what it's like to kind of step, on one side of the curtain over to the other. What's it like for you to come out of the race car, out of the cockpit, and to go and lead an organization like Trans Am?
I am not going to lie, it is tough. But to start with that, I've got to say thank you to the staff that we've got here. We've got the hardest working group of people here. Everybody's got a job title, but under that they wear 5 different hats and work their butts off here. So to get Sebring going here, all of the Racing America staff, Trans Am staff, my guys, they have been hustling, and it's been amazing. Quick hi to Tim at home. I know he's paying attention here and watching in. We love you, buddy. We're missing you here this weekend and thinking of you and your family.
So the Trans Am Series, as it enters the next decade, tell me where it stands in your mind. What are the ups? What are the challenges?
The challenges right now are kind of not reimagining Trans Am, but getting more eyeballs to us. I mean, I don't want to change this formula. In fact, the best part of Trans Am is that this formula has not changed. We're not evolving into cars that are just about driving themselves. We are putting way too much horsepower onto way too little tire and burning rubber coming out of every single corner. I want, and for as any kind of racer wants, and the fans that love to see the show, something that's difficult to do. And these cars are hard to drive. 850 to 900 horsepower on our TA cars, no traction control, no ABS, no driver aids at all. Just a really bumpy racetrack and a whole lot of horsepower. That means great racing side by side. When you flip the switch to our TA2 side, same thing. Those guys are beating and banging. Best stock car road racing on the planet.
Yeah, please don't change anything. I've just gotten acclimated to these cars, and they're amazing machines. I mean, they really are. When you look at them, you think they're really high-tech, but they're not. I mean, like you said, the driver is really the most important component of the vehicle, but it's a monster to drive. It looks like a really a car that would be a lot of fun.
60 years of Trans Am, it is always going to be about the driver. And yes, these cars are amazing. They're superstars. We're bragging about them, but this is about the fight, the brawl, the taking it to it, getting on track door to door, and having a heck of a race.
So here they come now, down the straightaway to turn number 17, the final corner. It is Matt Brabham in that white number 16 Ford Mustang. On driver's left, that's the inside headed to turn 1. Paul Menard on the outside in that beautifully painted 3GT Racing Ford Mustang. They'll go at it down to turn number 1 for the first of 27 laps and the first of 12 rounds in the 2026 Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Pace car is off. Here they come down for the start. Green flag, and we're racing at Sebring.
See how aggressive they're going to be under braking into turn 1. Looks like Paul's not giving it up. Got one
got
around.
A spinner. That's Jim Guthrie around. Kaylee Bryson is also around.
Haley's definitely, I don't think she's got any damage.
And it is Brabham who's out in front and has the lead.
So no full course yellow. It looks like they've sorted it out over there. Matt Brabham with the lead. Paul Menard chasing him.
Mark Ragginger in the white number 7. Tommy Dreesy in the black number 8. Listen to these beautiful 850 to 900 horsepower engines wind up and get going up to full speed.
Yeah, they sound good. Really, you can hear by the sound that these cars make a ton of power. You see right there on the exit of that corner, you see the track drop away 3 or 4 inches off the asphalt. If you drop a wheel there, you're going to get in the mud. It's not going to be pretty for you or the guys behind you. They complete lap 1. Looks like Paul Menard still chasing Matt Brabham, not letting him get too far out.
Off in the distance there, you see Adam Andretti, the blue striped white nose car, trying to clear some of the GT class traffic and see if he can stay in touch with the Trans Am front runners. So here they come, lap number 1. It is Brabham leading Menard. A little bit back to Ragginger in 3rd. Dreesy is 4th, being challenged there by David Pintarek as they head to turn number 1 for that number 4 spot. There's Pintarek to the inside. He'll make the pass into the corner. David Pintarek, the 63-year-old from the Youngstown area, driving that bird's eye view project Ford Mustang.
You can see some of the cars bouncing and actually making contact with the racetrack. Cars are pretty heavy with that full load of fuel. They've got to let these cars have a lot of suspension movement. They would normally try to keep them, you know, a level platform for the aerodynamics of the car, but with the track being so bumpy, they have to let the suspension move a little bit. You can see that here, especially, like I said, when the cars are heavy, they're going to make a little bit of ground contact.
So turn 7 now, and headed down the Fangio straightaway. It's about 3 really good passing zones on this course if you're confident in your braking.
Yeah, like I said, turn 1 is one of those, but it's very risky as you go into that corner with all the transitions that happen. You can really make a mistake trying to make a pass there, but it is an opportunity. But at the end of the long straightaways with the heavy braking is where the guys will really try to take advantage of their competitor. You can actually hear the engines and where they hit these bumps. kind of rev up
Right.
when the tires can clear the ground. And they've got kind of a traditional type shock absorber on them. They're not able to run, you know, the advanced like inverters that you see in maybe IndyCar and some of the other places, but they do have some pretty advanced shock absorbers and suspension systems on the cars.
Looks like we've got a car off to the side of the course in turn 6, just after you go under the Corvette bridge and straighten out onto the run down to turn number 7.
Looks like they got the yellow flags at the start-finish line.
Double yellow, so full course yellow. Full course yellow for that car in a bad spot, just coming out from under that bridge. There you see some of the AMR safety team standing by there. But that's a pretty high-speed, easy to get off track to driver's left spot. So full course yellow, number 1 for...
One thing to note here with the caution coming out, these drivers have a system in their cars on the dash that actually illuminates the second the caution comes out, so they can see it, they can't miss it. There's flags all around the racetrack, but they have this alert system in the cars, which makes it a lot safer. And at that point, they are instructed to get down to about 60 miles an hour, kind of maintain their speed and distance until they can find, you know, the trouble on the track, get it kind of cleaned up. Then they'll bunch the cars back up before the restart.
Little pit stop here for one of the GT1 cars, Axel Rivera, San Juan, Puerto Rico driver, in with the engine cover lifted off of that car. Confirming that it is the Simon Gregg car that stopped off of turn number 6 and is being attended to there to move it into a safer place, and the reason for the full course yellow here at Sebring International Raceway in round 1 of our Trans Am Series by Pirelli. Let's back up to that first turn, first lap shuffle that saw Kaylee Bryson sitting sideways on the track, and check on the pit lane with Ben Sissel.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Andy and Alan, I'm sure a guy that you're very familiar with, Pancho Weaver, with Kaylee Bryson. And Pancho, what did Kaylee say on the radio? What happened there at 1?
She got kind of punted a little bit going into turn 1, and things got roughed up. Car's in good shape. I think it's just rear bumper a little bit, but you know, kind of disturbs the driver and their process through the race. But she'll soldier on. This is the first time something like this has happened to her. So, and she's got all, you know, the 100 miles to do it in. So we're hoping that she could just you know, take one at a time and inch her way back up.
All right, Ben, thanks. So Kaylee Bryson right now sitting in 21st position on the racetrack, and as we get organized for the restart, they have removed the Simon Gregg machine from the spot where it's at, off driver's left in turn number 6, and we should be able to get back going shortly.
I think it's some of the first race jitters probably kicked in on that first lap up front of the leaders, and Kaylee got punted, probably just trying to be maybe a little conservative going in the first turn on the first lap. Somebody else might have been a little more ready to go. But glad to see she didn't get any damage, and she can kind of start behind these fast cars. She should be able to make up some ground. She's made so much progress during the weekend of just, you know, gaining lap time or reducing lap time and trying to get faster, and got pretty close to those top 2 cars. So I'd like to see what she can do by the end of this one.
There's the Simon Gregg machine being taken off the track at the backside of turn number 7, over by the 7 Sebring Hotel. And we expect we're going to be coming back to the restart this time by and get the field set in order that it should be. So Matt Brabham is the leader. Paul Menard is 2nd. Martin Raginger is 3rd. David Pinterick is 4th. And Tommy Dreese is 5th. Adam Andretti, after starting back in 15th position by not being here at all on the weekend, passed the number of the GT class cars quickly, and he's moved himself up now to 6th. And this caution kind of helped close that deficit he had to the TA class cars in front of him.
Made a lot of headway, and he's caught up with them now. Maybe he can get in the fight.
GT1 leader is Jordan Bupp. He runs 7th overall. Billy Griffin in XGT is that class leader. He's 8th overall. You've got Chris Coffey in SGT 9th, and then the TA Cup leader is Cole Moore, who runs 10th overall in the race, just in front of Jim Guthrie and Ken Thwaites, who run 11th and 12th. And so here we go, green flag, and it's Brabham and Menard setting off again at the front. Adam Andretti trying to quickly make a move on the inside to pick up a spot from Tommy Dreese in turn 1.
He's got the line getting into turn 1. Got to leave the room on the exit so they don't drop off of that edge of the racetrack right there that we see. Looks like they get through clean.
And a TA Cup lead change as Jim Guthrie got around Cole Moore there going into turn number 1 also. And there you see Kaylee Bryson back in line trying to make her way through some of the traffic. She's 13th overall right now.
Yeah, it's good to see her car has relatively no damage, so she should be able to make her way up to the front.
Oh, a little lock up there from Patarik.
Again, they don't have anti-lock brakes. They have to modulate that in the cockpit.
That's the heavy braking zone entering turn number 7 there.
Yeah, these cars have a solid rear axle. They're not independent rear suspension. They run basically like a 9-inch Ford gear that is attached to a rigid housing. It doesn't look traditional. It looks kind of different from something I'm used to. Did you see right there the drop off from the curb and the asphalt into that part? And there's a couple of cars getting in that part where it's wet.
That was Jordan Buck there. Tricky.
Yeah,
very tricky.
Been kind of watching how Paul is going about this. I have a feeling he's not going to be that aggressive early. He's going to let this race play out. Being the veteran that he is, he knows this is a 100-miler.
Hey, quick reminder, get all your favorite racing action on the Racing America free streaming channel. You can watch it 24/7 on Amazon Prime Video, the Roku channel, and My Free Direct TV. Live racing, original content from Trans Am, and the grassroots and NASCAR racing communities. It's the Racing America channel, your 24/7 racing fix. So Matt Brabham starting to leg out a little bit of a lead on Paul Menard. 1.5 seconds now, the gap first to second. It's another 2nd and 8/10 from Menard in 2nd, back to Marty Ragginger in 3rd.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Matt Brabham yesterday and talking about, this battle that we felt like was going to materialize between Paul Menard and himself. And he was talking about how you can run these cars pretty hard over 100 miles, but you can run the tires off of them. And he's seen actually Paul do that before when they've had some really tight racing and some hard racing. So I have a feeling that Paul may have learned something from that, maybe trying to save a little bit of tire, a little bit of car for later in this one. He's not letting him get too far out there, but Matt's setting a pretty fast pace.
Now, the onboard views here at Sebring, they're fun because if you watch those speed numbers, top end speed at the straightaways versus braking, watch here. He was just over 150 miles an hour, down into the 50s to get through the corner.
You see no paddle shifting. They have a shifter in the center of the car. They are sequential, but they don't have the like the steering wheel paddle shifters, power shift. They have to lift too. They have to lift the throttle. They have to modulate that to be able to make sure that they engage the gears. See that fast lap of 1 minute 59. These two leaders pretty well matched each other on the fastest lap.
Watch this top end number.
Undersold that 160 miles an hour.
Yeah,
they beat that by quite a bit. 173 at the end of the straight.
He was there. He was there at 173 when the frame locked up from the car. It might have gone to a little more than that. So Brabham's lead edges out now to 1.8 seconds over Paul Menard. Adam Andretti still chasing David Patarik, trying to find a way around him. Back for 4th and 5th positions. Check on some of the class leaders. Cole Moore still leads TA Cup by a pretty comfortable gap. Billy Griffin is the XGT leader. Lee Saunders has moved up to the 14th position. Mr. Sebring, Lee Saunders with 7 wins in 9 tries in the SGT class here in Sebring. Saunders up now to the 14th position, though he's got Chris Coffey right behind him. And Patrick Utt is there right as well. So that's a pretty good scrap for the SGT class lead.
On board with Tommy Dreesy. See just how the disparity in speed from the corner, mid-corner, some of these really tight corners, to the long straightaways where they just get, you know, a ton of speed. 173 we saw at one point.
Tommy, veteran driver out of Los Angeles, been doing this a long time. His 23rd season of Trans Am competition. When they were here for the preseason test, I asked him, why are you still doing this? And he laughed and flashed that smile of his and he said, because I love it.
That's right. You never get over this, Alan.
Yeah.
It's something that gets in your blood, and it's there for life. If you get an opportunity to get in one of these, you take it, man. You just get out here and race on this kind of track with these cars.
Yeah, 2 or 3 people say to you, hey, we got to get you into one of these cars.
Oh yeah, I've been offered a ride in a couple of these. I thought I was too old, but I'll see some people like Greasy out there. Maybe not. Adam Andretti trying to keep these 2 in sight for that podium spot.
And there at the back end of that line of cars, you see Dreesy in 6th and Kaylee Bryson running in 7th place. Making up ground after that turn 1, lap 1 spin. Third, 4th, and 5th here. David Pitarik hangs on to this spot and gets a step on the podium. You won't see a bigger smile. I mean, he's facing a guy who was a Red Bull and Porsche Junior, all over the back bumper and withstanding the pressure.
He's got some work to do if he's going to get this podium spot.
Yep.
I love this drone shot. Get to see a lot of the racetrack.
Using all that curving.
Yeah. Radinger's he's not conserving anything right now.
I love this angle too because you can see the chassis working over the bumps. Talk about the bumps at Sebring, but look at those cars working over that stretch.
Yeah, and I saw a brake light pop on. I think it was Radinger's car where they're tapping the brake just to make sure that they're there.
Settling in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
See the top 2, Brabham and Menard, very close on the last lap time.
All right, so the fight is still for 3rd, 4th, and 5th as the gap 1st to 2nd has grown a little bit.
Yeah, these 2, Pitarik and Radinger, have pulled a little bit of a distance between them and Andretti. There's Kaylee Bryson now. She's trying to move up, make a move. Tommy Dreesy going to try to hold her off.
See the sparks showering up
you
on
can
that
see
car
that
over the bumps. Very cool.
I said earlier, these cars carry a ton of fuel. They got 38 gallons on board when they start this one to make the whole 100 miles without stopping. And it changes the car over the course of the run. As it lightens up on fuel load, it changes the front to rear weight balance. The tires also kind of give up a little bit of grip, but the car's getting lighter, so you know the speeds don't really fall off a ton. The tires do hold up well, but it's a big difference in the way the car handles from start to finish.
Watching Dreesy work the backside of the course, headed up toward turn number 10 here. Now for the first time in a while, a car length's gap between.
Yeah, he pulled a little bit of a lead on Radinger there.
And Adam Andretti falling back off those 2 over this next little while.
See the back hanging out there. They come through there on the 7-car Radinger.
We'll see. But for now, the field slows to 60 miles an hour, and the safety vehicles go to find David Pintaric's car. This is him braking into turn 7. And then,
Yep, some mechanical issue. This thing was great till it wasn't.
yeah, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say from that angle what happened, but definitely a mechanical issue.
When he tried to go off the corner, it didn't go.
Didn't go.
All right, so field slows to what they call code 60 speed in Trans Am lingo. Everybody down to 60 miles an hour, where they will then move the safety equipment and then get the pace car out in front of the field and gather them up and reorder them. Hopefully we get at least one more lap of green flag racing in this one. What can you say about Matthew Brabham? I mean, 32-year-old, lives in Indianapolis, third-generation racer, and he's driven everything, right? I mean, he's been in an Indy car. He's driven that Stadium Super Truck Series. He's been in IMSA and sports car competition, and as I mentioned a little bit ago, in Trans Am competition, he's just lights out.
Yeah, I've talked to the team quite a bit. They were talking. They say everybody thinks that car is so special, and the team's telling me they're pointing over to Matt and said that's what makes it special. That guy is really good. They couldn't say enough good things about Matt Brabham.
I was talking to him during the testing days here in January, and I asked him why this formula fits so well for him and why. And he said, well, I have a little bit of a secret sauce. It has to do with how you bring the tires to their best window and so on. And it's all way over my head. But, you know, I mean, drivers have their techniques. And when they find one that works like that, remember, one set of tires to run the whole 100-mile race. When you find that set, that sauce, if you will, you don't tell anybody about it.
Well, one thing they have in these cars, they have tire temps. They can look at the tire temps. The driver can see them. And they know where that sweet spot is for the tires. So the really good ones, like Matt Brabham, can get that car and those tires in that sweet spot without abusing them. Because that's the other thing you can do. You can overheat them as well. He can keep them right there in that sweet spot, probably better than most.
So here they come. Lights off on the pace car. As they make their way to turn 17, the final corner of this historic Sebring layout. They'll come off the corner with the pace car hanging a right onto pit road. And we'll have one lap to go to decide the season opening race. Matthew Brabham, Paul Menard, first and second. Green flag and white flag out. Last lap at Sebring, and we're racing again. Watch Kaylee Bryson and Adam Andretti back there.
Making a move on the outside.
Fourth in line. Brabham gets away from Menard. Oh, that's close.
That was close.
Tries the crossover. Andretti is there.
I know Bryson, she would like to have this spot, but she wants to make all the laps. Say she finished this one. She doesn't want to make a mistake here on the last lap, but she's pressuring Andretti right here.
She is, yes. Here they come down to turn number 7. Andretti protects driver's right where the corner goes. Bryson tries to go around the outside.
Oh, baby.
This will be close.
Oh.
Andretti
they're still
trying
touching.
to get that spot covered off the corner.
I'm actually impressed Bryson was able to stay as close and running off the track right there. That's a bad spot. Oh, she's not giving up this battle.
Looks up the outside to turn 10. Nothing doing there. Adam Andretti trying to protect 4th. That's the closest race in this top 5 at the moment. While up front,
Oh,
it's
Andretti
all...
slipped a little right there.
Yep. Up front, it's all Brabham. He's gotten away well. Look at that gap. He's already put on
pulled
Menard.
the gap on Paul Menard, man. He is really getting it done today.
This is the entertaining fight here for fourth place. Adam Andretti, blue and white. Chevrolet, Kaylee Bryson, the neon yellow Dodge. Down the back stretch for the final time. And while they fight for that position up front, it's another Matthew Brabham day in Trans Am. He started on pole by setting the fastest lap in practice. He leads every lap, and he scores the win at Sebring to open the 2026 season.
Unbelievable. How was it for you out there, Matt?
Oh, it was just awesome. I mean, the car is so good to drive. Sebring is a historic track. I love it here. The bumps add some character, but the car was phenomenal. The guys at Chris Dyson Racing did an awesome job putting this car together for this weekend, and I can't thank the boys and girls here on CD Racing enough. Jim Weed, obviously, big thank you to them, and Chris Dyson and Rob and everyone at home watching. Thank you so much. It's an honor to drive for you guys, and yeah, I mean, what a race. I mean, obviously, Paul was pushing me hard there at the end, and it made it a lot more fun for me, so it was awesome.
35-year-old Adrian Vlastovsky, one of the stalwarts of this Cube 3 Architecture TA2 series of the last couple of years, lined up inside of row number 2 for this season opener as we get ready to go racing in Central Florida on this Sunday. Vlastovsky looking for that first podium in TA2 competition. A young man from the New York City area who is a team owner, owns a business in Queens, is a hustler and works hard, and says that Sebring isn't his weak track anymore. He says no more excuses. Watch today.
I like it. He's up there in third.
So there's the grid. Drivers getting buckled aboard, waiting for the 1 minute board to go up before we go back trackside for the command to start engines. And you can see the flags blowing a little bit. It's not a heavy breeze, though. And again, not expecting any rain this afternoon. It is Florida. There's always an asterisk there.
And they do have rain tires available.
They do, but not expecting any this afternoon. We should have beautiful weather and great conditions for this season opening race. So again, the traditional format for Trans Am competition applies to TA2 as well. It's a 100-mile distance. So here around the Sebring, it's 100.98 miles, the 27-lap distance today. And there is a 75-minute time limit on the race in case you get caught in a bunch of full course yellows and that kind of thing.
Yeah, they carry enough fuel on board to not have to make any pit stops, which is a fair amount. It's over 30 gallons. So they won't have to make a pit stop, but they'll have to deal with the extra weight of a full tank at the beginning and the way the car changes throughout the event.
Trans Am Racing, of course, celebrating its 60th anniversary this season. But the TA2 series first joining up in 2011, and we're ready to race at Sebring. This historic track first opened back in 1950 on the site of an old World War II pilot training base. Original course, all runways, still some of the original concrete runways in use, but the twists and turns of these 3.74 miles and 17 turns cause drivers to change surfaces underneath their tires 18 times in a lap. It's a challenge for this field of cars and drivers getting ready to roll onto the speedway.
Yeah, you'll certainly see that as they go across these bumps and the transitions. You'll see the suspension working a lot. You'll probably see early on with the full tank of fuel, they'll bottom out a little bit here and there, but they got to be careful too on a couple of spots on the track where the asphalt drops off. I mean, it's a 3 or 4 inch gap down to what's actually now wet. Some of it's mud, so they got to be careful to keep the car on the track right there, and it's in a strategic spot too, so that where they really need the extra room, they got to be extremely careful there, especially if they're racing side by side.
So the field of cars begins to roll from the pit lane. This TA2 formula has made this series into an ideal training ground for young drivers looking to eventually maybe become NASCAR Cup Series stars. And the list of TA2 alumni in recent years.
Yeah, you look at that list. I mean, there's some really great, talented drivers. Probably one of the biggest superstars in NASCAR, Connor Zilic, coming up. But you see Jesse Love, last year's Xfinity Series champion. Just a lot of great talent there.
As series president Andy Lally likes to say, this is America's only full-time stock car racing, road racing series. And these drivers today will work this Sebring course with an H-pattern transmission, nothing sequential, and basically a full-blown stock car at their disposal. No driver aids, no ABS, no traction control to try and manage.
Yeah, the car is very similar to what we'd call a late model stock car chassis. 15-inch tires and wheels. The brakes that, accommodate that, so they're smaller than you see with the Trans Am cars who have bigger wheels. The engines are not anemic, though. They're less power, but they're making 530 horsepower. So these guys and girls, they have a pretty powerful machine under them, and not a lot of tire. They don't have as much tires as Trans Am cars. Not as wide, obviously not as big in diameter. So they got to manage that some.
So qualifying was rained out yesterday afternoon after a thunderstorm came through the area. So by rule book, starting grid order was from practice times from the practice session earlier in the day. A big challenge for these drivers, and it's grid forming up behind the safety car now, getting ready to be turned loose for the first green flag of the new season. It's exciting. Thank you for joining us here on Racing America, wherever you're watching us today. Our friends north of the border on Rev TV in Canada, glad to have you with us. And we're ready to go. Let's just say this. This race has a history of the opening laps being a little bit rough.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you. I can see a lot of these young drivers going for it on this first lap. This first turn's very tricky. It's an opportunity to pass, but it's risky out there on the exit.
So here they come onto the main straightaway. Pace car off onto the pit lane. Elio Mezza on the front row with Noah Harmon ready to see the green flag at Sebring. Good jump by Mezza. He gets the lead into turn number 1. Second place, Lostowski inside of Harmon. And everybody's through.
I think they've settled that battle yet. That second place battle's still hot.
Hearing that the race is ending before it's even begun for Graham Jacobson, 19 car, 17-year-old from Marietta, Georgia, driving for Stan Barrett Motorsports. His car shut off before got to take the green flag, and he's gone back to the paddock.
Yeah, I saw him pushing it by here as the field left the grid.
Disappointment there for Jacobson. They reviewed the start, declared it rough but okay.
It looked a little bit rough, but they deemed it to be good.
And so we stay under green with Mezza leading, Lostowski second, Harmon third, and Alonde fourth in that white 17 with the blue numbers. Slight gap back to the race for fifth. That's a little bit stacked up there. They work that tough turn 14, 15, 16 section of the Sebring course and come off onto the Ullman Straight, named for the racetrack's founder. And steam down toward turn 17. As the camera pans to follow the cars through the corner, watch how bumpy this section of the speedway is. Bump, bump, bump.
Hey, you can see right there as they transition, you can see all the cracks and the seams in the concrete. You come to the main straightaway, same thing. This is an old runway from World War II. I'd say it's held up pretty well over the years, but still challenging. This is a good battle right here.
Third place.
Yeah, Alonde putting a lot of pressure on Harmon.
He looks to the outside off that right-hand turn, but facing a quick left-hander, has to drop back in line. Alonde in that 17, the 34-year-old from Israel. Jet Support Services, Team SLR Chevy Camaro. He's a four-time NASCAR Euro Series champion. I asked him why he chose to run the TA2 Series this year. He said, I don't do ovals. He said, he's tried it. It's just not his thing. And so here he is going after a North American championship in TA2.
Looks like road racing is his thing. He's doing a good job.
He's excellent at it. The NASCAR Euro Series, if you're not familiar with it, is all on road courses in Europe. Full course yellow has been called, and we have a car stopped under the bridge. Actually got a couple of cars over under the bridge exiting turn 6.
Yeah, I see one turned around backwards over
We
there,
might have
right
a whole
under the bridge.
3-car stack up over there.
Bad spot. Yeah, there's one right there, up against the fence, right at the concrete wall.
So full course yellow here after just a couple of laps of competition. Try to figure out, as you can imagine, the cars tucked underneath the bridge like that make it a little difficult to pick the numbers off them quickly. But it looks like
one of them might be the
25 car of Jace Denmark. Might be one of those stopped over there.
I think maybe the other guy or other car got going. I believe that's the only one stopped.
So the field slows to the mandatory 60 miles an hour, and the safety car awaits them at the pit exit to pick them up. And Speedway safety team is already over at that turn 6 site to figure out who it is.
He is talking to Jace. What was he saying on the radio?
All he was saying was he got hit in the rear trying to avoid a spin. So we're not too sure how bad it is, other than he got out of the car and it won't roll. So we'll see it when he gets back to the truck tonight.
Nice. Well, one of the major improvements Sebring International Raceway made just probably 4 or 5 years ago, that used to be very narrow through there under the bridge. They've widened it at the Corvette Bridge, and now it's probably 6-7 lanes wider than it was. So this could have been a lot worse had this happened maybe 5-6 years ago. But all the improvements that Sebring International has been making. Hunter, thank you for that great information, and hopefully we'll see Jace back out there at Road Atlanta. Back up to you guys in the booth.
I bet. Thanks. Tough break for Jace Denmark, 21-year-old from the Phoenix area originally, living in Indianapolis now. Jumping in for his first ever TA2 race after spending, second ever TA2 race after spending most of the last 6 seasons in the open wheel ranks, but didn't get far today as he stopped under that bridge in turn number 6.
I think Patrick Paul in the 44s also stopped on the other side of the racetrack. Wreckers are moving that way to pick him up. I think he might have actually been involved in this one, but able to continue a little further around.
Didn't make it far, yeah. Yeah, here's a look at the Patrick Paul car.
Yep, he's got one of those wheels not going the right direction.
And making it a little difficult to control.
Yep.
So good of him to stop over there since we were under the full course yellow. So safety working to remove those 2 cars before we can get back at it. And we'll be at least another lap behind the safety car as the field comes through turn 17 and back onto the main straightaway. So this just the opener of the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series for 2026. It's on to Road Atlanta in a couple of weeks as the series crisscrosses the country to some of the great road racing circuits in America. And one north of the border as well. We'll see Canadian Tire Motorsports Park on
Great
Labor Day
schedule
weekend.
for these cars.
And let's go back downstairs as the field finishes bypassing the pit lane so we can hear Ben.
Here with Bill, with Adrian Lostowski, who made a great pass into turn 1. What's he saying on the radio? Does the car feel good?
Car's good. He's happy with it. All we're doing is we're going to lay back. We're trying to make sure to stay out of trouble, and we're going to make a run at the end as a plan. He's happy with the car, though. It's awesome.
Nice. I know you guys have had some bad luck at testing with some engines, but you feel like you've got it coming here?
That's why we do the test. We get all those bugs out, we hope, and then after that, maybe we won't have to deal with it. So that was the plan. The test was not really that great because we had all the issues, but at least we got them out of the way before we got here, you know.
I love it. I love it. Well, that's the CMI crew with the Fast Auto. Adrian Lostowski currently second right now behind Elio. This is gonna be a great race here at Sebring. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, Ben, thanks. So they continue working to remove the Jace Denmark car from under the bridge in turn number 6 and the 44 machine of Patrick Paul from off between turns, what does that looks like, between turns 8 and 9. and hopefully we can get back to full speed racing here very shortly at Sebring in the early going of this one. And it is, as Ben said, Adrian Wlostowski made a nice move to get that second spot.
Yeah, he did. I guess their pre-race routine worked pretty good this week. We saw that in the pre-race show where they do the exact same routine every week. Crew chief, being a former Marine in the Marine Corps, got a good disciplined little routine they do. Maybe I could have learned something from that back when I was a crew chief.
Discipline?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's I just have no further comment on that. There's too many stories rattling around in my brain right now. Might say something unfortunate, you know. All right, so there have the Jace Denmark car clear. Looking over back towards turn 9, it looks like they're getting the Paul car clear as well, and we should be able to go back green flag racing. And the green flag is out, and we're back racing at Sebring. Challenge for third. Alonde inside of Noah Harmon as they head to turn 1. Look out.
Got a real scramble for second here. Looks like Alonde's coming out of that in third.
Everybody through okay so far. Difficult turns 3, 4, 5. Now down, zipping under the bridge, turn 6 in the heavy braking zone coming up here for turn number 7. Harmon defending a little bit there. As he now has Mescalis right up behind him. A little wide there off the track. Didn't pick up the number. Look at this.
Got a little scramble going on there. Looked like Stant Barrett involved in that.
They don't hesitate to wrinkle some fenders when needed.
You can just see how equal these cars perform. I'm telling you, they are very, very competitive.
Fighting their way through the final couple of corners. 16 now and off onto the straightaway and headed down toward turn 17. You're watching this broadcast on Racing America. And if you're joining us for the first time, there's a lot more to see. Log on to racingamerica.com and get all your favorite racing news, grassroots live streams from across the country, behind the scenes NASCAR Cup team content, and of course Trans Am and TA2 Racing. racingamerica.com. Glad to have you with us.
We got another
Day
challenge
and Harmon
there.
really fighting it out here for third. Harmon trying to get the spot back on the inside of turn 1. That's that corner. You talked about this earlier, Andy, where if you slip off that curve on the outside,
it's across big time.
It's like a 2 or 3 inch drop to drop those right side tires into the dirt.
And then when that happens, that car's going to go straight right into those barriers. So you really have to, you got to leave room for the other guy too. You got to know that's there, and when you can race hard, but you got to leave just a little extra room. You know, Messa's got enough lead here that he can run kind of a line. He can widen out his entries. These other guys can't do that. They're racing each other. They got to, I mean, somewhat protect their lines. And so that's allowed the leader to get away just a little bit because these guys are racing so hard behind.
Man, what a spot there Noah Harmon was in, right? He had a peek to the inside of Wlostowski. Not far enough in there to go for it, but then he had Alonde right behind him. Here's a move for second.
Harmon takes that spot.
And Alonde trying to pounce.
Wlostowski, he's got a chance to get a podium finish here. He's never had one. He's going to fight for it.
Second place at stake here. Elio Metza moving away from this race. Now Noah Harmon back where he started in the number 2 position. Got some ground to make up, though, to catch the race leader.
He's able to gap that battle behind him just a little bit, so maybe he can, like you say, open up his entry a little bit, make a little more lap time to try to catch that leader.
Harmon getting away from Lofstowski a little bit. Now Adrian there having to defend that last step on the podium as Alonde is right locked on the back bumper. Here's the peak to the inside in turn number 1.
You make it stick here? Yeah, looks like it.
Right to the edge of that curve.
That fight's not over yet. Still a left-hander coming up. Gets it right there, gets the spot.
Lofstowski able to get back in line before he loses another position as they're all stacked up there. Vinny Mescalis, Ethan Tovo, Rafa Matos, all right there. That's Mescalis on the move inside, or peeking inside of Lofstowski. 20-year-old from Dallas.
They already has damage from an earlier incident, but he's not afraid to use that front end again.
And the broken momentum off that corner has Sam Corey just about trying to push him down the straightaway and look for a spot to get inside in turn 17. Here's Corey to the inside. By the way, while we've been watching some of this great racing, just a note, Lainey Bice has come back from the paddock area and back on the racetrack.
Well, that's good. I'm sure she lost a few laps here, but I believe that was Harmon that took that spot back. I believe it was Harmon that took that spot back from Alonde, was it not?
It's 40. That's Connor Mosack. Cars look just
They
alike.
did. They look identical.
Yep.
But I'd kind of forgotten about their earlier contact in there. Maybe that's why they were going at it so hard. There goes Harmon now, putting a little pressure.
Yeah, it's Harmon behind Mosack, yes.
He made a nice comeback. He got back to what, 10th place?
Yeah, he was. Full course yellow helped, right? Close that gap.
Oh, absolutely did help.
Everything. All right, here we go. Turn 7, heavy braking zone.
This pass here won't be so easy. Connor Mosack's a pretty talented driver.
Look at the 71 of Eric Caton as he tries to get a spot in turn 7. Pro-Am still being led by Jared Audrick over Tom Sheehan.
Yeah,
and
solid
Caleb
run in the top 10 for Jared.
Yep, all the way up from starting back in 15th place. There is Noah Harmon, Silver Hair Racing driver.
Heard from his crew chief talking about how he was just going to take a calm, approach to this, and then he kind of got his feathers ruffled a little bit with Alonde down there in turn 1. But he's made a nice comeback.
This fight for a spot going on as Ethan Tovo tries to find a way around Sam Corey. Corey protecting the inside line as they come down to turn 17 in the braking zone.
Yeah, Ethan's one of those 15-year-old drivers in this field. To me, I just never get over the fact that you can have drivers that young that compete at a level like this. And he's got his twin brother out there with him as well. I asked Jackson, his twin brother, I said, which one of you is the best? And he goes, well, what do you mean? He said, I think he was better in practice. I said, no, which one is the best? He says, okay, Ethan's better on road courses. I'm better on ovals.
You were putting the heat on it. He didn't want to answer that question. You kept going, and he came up with the answer for you.
There's Jackson in the 30.
back-to-back for this gentleman. He won the last race of 25, won the first race of 26, both from the pole, green to checker. Unbelievable, man. You know, I made fun of you at test about that note-taking. I think you might have the secret. How was it out there?
Yeah, I mean, that was a fun drive. I mean, I just took the approach of enjoying this weekend, and, you know, I didn't know if I was going to run the full season this year, and so, you know, to be a full-time driver in this series is it's a dream come true for me. So, you know, another win for us. Can't thank SLR, Alessandro's Racing, Chevrolet, M1 Chassis, just my whole team. I mean, they worked so hard for this opportunity, and I just can't thank everyone enough. Josh Wise, Scott Speed. I mean, we prepped so hard in the off-season for this race, and I felt like I've driven this race 1,000 times, and so I got on the track and I knew what I had to do. So couldn't do it without the people behind me, my family, my dad, always being there for me. So yeah, this one means a lot, and definitely a confidence booster for the season.
Nice. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not sure you're aware of this, but I think your team would like this too. At testing, you were thinking, oh, I might do 3, 4, and everybody in the paddock's like, oh, we love having this guy. I'd love to have him do 4 or 5. Then just a week after, you put out a release, you're doing the whole season, and I could feel all your competitors go, oh, no, I liked it a lot more when you were just doing 4 races with us. How did that happen?
Yeah, so, you know, my sponsor, Alessandro's Racing, you know, the owner, Diego Rodriguez, lives in Miami, and so I was like, hey, why don't you come out to the test and just kind of see what it's all about? So he came out, and, you know, we were really fast in the test, and, you know, can't thank SLR again for everything that they do for me, and, you know, Diego saw how fast we were and the potential that we had, and he's like, all right, let's do it. He put his faith in me. He's putting faith in me, and so glad I can prove him right and start us off on the right foot this year.